chicken, dog tags. Dog, this is awesome. It's Optimus Prime and your quadrant and talking to you. Got that? I was in a mind when I crafted this. The Dungeon Master's wrath with a dash of sick. I dash like Sonic Mad, not a pacifist, but pacifist. The tracks when I'm rapping, kids. We the last of us. The master race, take him with a master hand. It's cancerous. I hit him with the master sword and sure I make an eyesore. But I wonder how 4 guys make a Triforce.
Hey guys, welcome to Trinity Force Podcast. My name is Adam Ponophobia Cogswell, and I am back and ready to host your podcast for one more day.
Welcome back.
I'm the only one who's really good and happy about this.
Until next week when Dom has to host again.
Shut up. No, that's not happening. We're gonna have the Claude do it. See what happens then.
God, I'm gonna make Chira do it. I'm just gonna bring on like 4 random people to do the podcast one week, and they're all gonna pretend to be us.
That would be really funny to like start a show that way.
Just have 4 random people, like Greg standing right here, like looking at it. He's like, "Hey, I'm Adam Ponophobia Cogswell." They're like, "What the?
Who is this guy?"
Yeah, who is this guy? Who is this Greg guy?
Maybe we should ask that question. What do you
No,
think?
we're going to go on. So, guys,
Okay.
thanks for all right. So, Greg, he is part of Victorious Gaming. We have a nice special announcement tonight. I don't know. I'll let Greg do all the talking about it because, well, why not? You're a man.
You're gonna put me on the spot here. Is that what this is?
He already mailed it in one day this week, so he's gonna try to make it 2.
Yep, you got it.
Okay, well, perfect. So
Tell us who you are, Greg, what you're from, and what's going on with Victorious Gaming.
I'm a shoutcaster. I guess my typical thing is media director or creative director.
Ooh.
Right, but essentially what I am is I'm a shoutcaster. First and foremost, I shoutcast our big tournaments. I do hopefully sometimes our daily tournaments as well. And then I also run our department there that does journalism and graphics, and then of course the shoutcasters and video producers for our hopeful YouTube channel that's going to happen someday. But essentially Victorious Gaming, that's the company that I'm the creative director for. We run tournaments every single day. So you come out, you sign up with us, and we run what's called a daily draft tournament. Daily draft tournament, we call it that because it's pretty much like a solo queue tournament. You come out, you sign up, we put you onto a 5v5 team that maybe you've never met before. We put you out there, and you're split up between bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, diamond, and you play it out, and you can win RP.
So it's like a glorified battle arena. Is really what it is.
Oh my gosh, is that what it is?
It's really a glorified battle arena.
It's a battle arena with
That was
benefits.
weird. I can't tell if you were being really sarcastic there.
I was trying to segue it into.
Okay.
I was going to say, well, before, I just wanted you to say who you were and what you're talking about, because we're definitely going to do, like, it's going to be like, it's not really a real interview, because, I mean,
interview me?
Well, not really, that's what I'm saying.
Why do you think you're here?
Do you want to be interviewed?
Well, that'd be awesome.
You're being interviewed for DeClaude's spot tonight. How many puns do you know?
Oh my goodness, I'm not usually the punny
Well,
guy.
you're off the podcast. Congratulations.
You've replaced me with the wrong person.
Hold on. Can you go off on a lot of tangents about God knows what?
I can do tangents.
Hey, it looks like he's going for my spot then.
How much do you like Pantheon?
And how about the long blink? Oh, he's got it.
I can
That
do.
was
I can
actually pretty
do.
good.
I actually can't play Pantheon at all.
Okay. Better yet, do you like food?
Oh, I have been known to eat the occasional food.
Can you eat 4 pounds of bacon in one sitting?
That I don't think I could do. But I like food.
Do you promise not to eat on the podcast?
We're gonna have an eating bake like a bake
That's gonna
eating
be tough.
contest.
Yeah, well, I asked Cheer that every week, and he says the same goddamn thing. The next thing you know, he'd be like, bite of a fucking apple and shit.
Hey, I haven't eaten an apple on the show. The worst was carrots.
What were you eating last week?
Strawberries. Yep.
You were fat.
You couldn't even hear them.
You're fat.
The one time
You're fat.
it was pasta. It was great.
Anyway, guys, so I can do some podcast news here really quick before we get into talking to Greg about Victorious Gaming. It was called Victory Gaming.
Close enough.
We'll be at PAX East, which is April 11th, if I remember correctly. And, well, we won't be. Greg will be. We're going to talk about that later as well.
We will be.
So,
Right.
Matt Nagorum from the LCS T-Force Rundown will be there. And he has T-shirts to give away that say, they say T-Force LCS Rundown, they say Trinity Force Podcast. He also has 100 buttons to give away, and MooBeat will have some of those buttons as well. So if you see MooBeat around, you can get a Trinity Force Podcast button from him. And ask him what Trinity Force Podcast is, and see if he can tell you. As well, once you got those buttons, make sure you wear them around. You can also get $10 in RP by going up to Gorum and giving him a special keyword. But you're only going to find that keyword if you go and listen to the T-Force LCS rundown. So I'm not going to give it to you on this podcast. You have to go listen to the other podcast to get it. So if you want $10 in RP and a free t-shirt, go listen to the T-Force LCS rundown, lcs.trinityforcepodcast.com.
Even as I didn't pay attention to all of that, I really do have a newfound appreciation for the things that you do.
Really? Just because I got
that was some pretty quick news. I'm impressed.
Yeah,
It's not done yet, motherfucker.
I took my way through it. I just blitzed. It was like a 2-minute news session when I did it on Monday, and I just feel like, yeah, if anybody caught that.
Well, I only have one more piece of news because I'm trying to keep the news to 2 pieces rather than running through 10 of them, and then I'm going to give it to you all week just to keep the news banter down. So, as well, we do have an Audible trial going on right now, and you're definitely going to want that Audible trial for next week because it is possible that there's only going to be one episode of the Trinity Force podcast next week, and there's also, that could happen in the future, where there's only one episode. Not in this foreseeable, but if it ever happens, you'll be glad to have the Audible trial because you can have an audiobook to listen to when we are not there. audibletrial.com/T-Force podcast.
I'll give you that one. That was
good.
I'll give you that one.
Thank you. That was off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
At least I get something. I'm coming back with a bang. All right, so that's all the news, guys.
Want to do the How I Met Your Mother song now?
Which one is that?
Bang, bang,
Oh.
bang, wanna bang, bang, bangity, bang.
God damn it, Knob.
I need another sip of my beer after that one.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have said it.
Okay, so let's go on to Victorious Gaming and let's talk about Trinity Force and Victorious Gaming and why we brought you on. We didn't just bring you on because we're nice guys.
I thought it was just an excuse to drink beer on the weekday. I don't know.
Oh,
It is. Don't be
I
fooled.
know.
Well, he's trying to take over my job now.
Shh. You weren't supposed to find that out yet.
I don't think you have to pull the microphone away. You're not breathing. You don't have
Well,
to
it's
sit.
in the way. It's like how do
Yeah.
how do you do it? You can't. Yeah.
Make it work.
Oh, my headset's on the other side of the room. I'd show you how to do it. I'm a seasoned drinker with headsets.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently I need to practice more with that before I take the job.
All right, so Victorious Gaming and Trinity Force Podcast are now teaming up. And for the beginning of this, for a couple weeks, a month, whatever it's going to be, it's pretty much just going to be your normal link exchange. You guys will be able to go. You guys, after we're done with the podcast, you guys will be able to go over there and watch the stream. Before the stream, you can go watch them, and we're gonna, we're getting this great partnership going. But there's a reason we're doing this, and it's because we want you guys to get better at this game. And what better way to get better at this game than playing the game? So, Greg, you were talking earlier that you guys are doing 5v5 daily draft tournaments. Can you tell us more about Victorious Gaming and why you started doing these daily draft tournaments?
So I wasn't with Victorious Gaming from the beginning. That kind of brought me on when they needed a shoutcaster. But when Victorious Gaming did start, essentially the idea was it was a very small knit community, and what we wanted to do was to give players a place to go to play the solo queue type of thing, but not with the insane amount of pressure, and with a different kind of incentive to do it. So at the beginning, it was just kind of a 5v5 draft tournament type of thing where, you bring everybody in, you take a pool of players and you split them up based on division, and then you make a tournament out of those players, and you make them duke it out. So essentially what that's grown into is we typically have anywhere from 400 to 600 players per day coming out to our tournament, and you can actually win from a prize pool of 8,000 RP for each of our tournaments, right? So first place for the bronze tournament, silver tournament, gold, bronze, silver, gold, and diamond plat tournaments. You can win 3,200 RP for first place. You can win 2,400 for second place, 1,600 and 800 down, respectively, all the way to fourth place.
That's crazy.
So, and it's actually from Riot, it's themselves. So it's pretty awesome.
And wait, is there a number of times that I can sign up for this tournament and win this RP?
No.
Oh shit.
So, but you do have to win, right? So,
right. Well, that's easy for me. As everyone knows, I never lose top lane.
I'm sure it is.
So, and of course you have it does take your entire night, because you will play anywhere from 4 or 5, sometimes 6 games, depending on the night. So we don't typically see people coming and playing every single day unless they want to dedicate their life to winning RP, which some people may want to do that.
I mean, if they find it easy, why not? Go get free RP for your account. So what kind of... So you guys said you do bronze, silver, gold, plat, diamond. Is that how those brackets are set up?
Yeah, we're doing LOL King for a while. Like take your LOL King elo, which is essentially based on the same things, and splitting it up that way. But right now, what we're doing, and until we get, that we add more tournaments or something like that. Right now, there's those 4 tournaments, and we're splitting it up: bronze, silver, gold, and diamond and platinum. Because you've got such a huge number of, those lower elos.
Okay.
Lack of a better word, and then you have a smaller number in the diamond and plat area. So typically, if we split it up that way, we get an even amount of people. Sometimes you have people bleeding from gold into silver, like gold 5s go into the silver tournament, and
Do you do that based on like how many people are there?
How many people we have? Yeah. So we split them up originally like that, and then you make 4 tournaments out of the people you have. So sometimes a little bit of bleed, but it essentially works out.
All right, great. So that's a great way. See, this is why I was talking about. We were doing Battle Arena, and Greg and I have talked about Battle Arena here, and where Battle Arena was only for bronze to gold, but we put everybody in one big lump sum to play. So if you're bronze, you could be going against gold players, but we did that so you had a way to play against players of higher skill, or players of higher skill could play against the lower players and check their ego, or whatever it may be, And we've seen great success with that, but it's getting to the point where the Trinity Force podcast can no longer do Battle Arena based on time, the time allotment. Because as you know, running a tournament, it's 3 hours out of your night to do a best of 3 series, or
it's an insane amount of time given by all of our staff. It's really crazy, but we all love it and it's awesome. So you know what we're talking about doing with Battle Arena, right? Yeah. So. No, I absolutely know what you're talking about with that. It's
I was asking you because I wanted to make sure, coming from the man, that you could talk about it and really pitch it here, what we're going to do with Battle Arena for the future.
That's going to be more on your end, so go ahead and do that.
Well, look at this. Me trying to bounce off my hosting duties to somebody else isn't working. No, so all right.
Nice try.
No, I'm kidding. So Battle Arena.
We really just get to kick back this episode.
I know. It's relaxing.
I would lean back, but I'm tethered to this.
Well, you guys are more
speaker.
than welcome to interrupt me and ask questions as well. Fine.
Drink beer.
Just disconnect. All right, so guys, Battle Arena, we've talked about in the future or the past how we're making it get better. What we're going to work with Victorious Gaming to do is actually have Victorious Gaming take over Battle Arena for us. And while it may not be the same way that you guys are used to playing, where you have that crude, funny humor from the guys on the podcast really helping you out, it is still going to be set up from a coaching standpoint, because you guys have a whole slew of coaches in the background, right? That are watching VODs and that are helping teams get better at the game. Right, Greg?
Absolutely. So
we haven't talked about that yet. So
the best situation we can probably have with this is where we kind of make that teamwork between us, where we have maybe one of us on there, one of you guys on there, and really just the idea of the entire Battle Arena thing is bringing our expertise with running the tournaments, your guys with helping people to get better, be a better gamer, and really try to make that connection there between all of us. So
right. So while we're talking about this, what this is going to turn into, and this is the big news, Battle Arena is going to become a Saturday tournament coming in the next month. We're looking. We don't have a date set yet. Greg and I need to sit down and fix it out. But in the next month, when we do pitch this out, there's going to have a full Saturday.
You are so the king of making sweeping announcements like this with nothing actually set in stone about.
Don't tell people this. You are honestly ruining this, Dom. You are ruining what this happened. No, but
he actually hasn't even talked to me about this yet. So there's
no. We did talk about this. However, life got in the way for me, and I couldn't actually start picking dates and stuff.
Doug.
God, this podcast just went to shit really fucking quick. My God. No, okay, so guys, if you're out there listening to Battle Arena and you guys want to, you want to win RP, you guys want to get better at this game, we're looking at more than likely the middle of April, if not the very end of April, to run a full day Saturday tournament. And this is going to be the Battle Arena style tournament, hosted by Victorious Gaming, part of the, and with the Trinity Force podcast. And we will have a way for you guys to go ahead and sign up through Victorious Gaming like they do now. And it'll just be a subset of the Battle Arena. And then on Thursday nights going forward, will more than likely be hosted by Greg or one of his fellow teammates from Victorious Gaming. And since they have such great, they run a great tournament. Actually, so those who don't know out there, we had Wrecker in go in and play in your tournament beforehand. We had a mole go in and play and tell us how they ran it. before we even contacted him to talk about this.
It took him a month to get back to me, but he did his research, man.
That's right. It's like it's like going into the interview. You got to be ready for it.
That's on me, actually.
Yeah.
He let it sit for a month, and I was like, yeah, have you ever responded to these guys? Maybe you should do that.
And I said, oh yeah, I got to talk to Wrecker because he just got done doing it.
You're supposed to act like that was your master plan all along.
Well, yeah, Wrecker got in the tournament and lost in the first round, and then like the week before he got all the way to the end and won. He's won twice now, and he's gotten 6,400 RP and a Ryze skin. So, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about your live streaming schedule and whatnot, and how people can find you, and because I'm sure people want to see their faces out there on the stream. Like, who doesn't want to go back and watch a VOD?
Right, absolutely. So what we do is we run those daily tournaments, and we stream typically the finals of the high level Diamond Plat tournament. But what we do is we actually run weekly specific or special tournaments. Like we worked with Lol King, we worked with actually Sir Ches last weekend on a tournament. One of the big name streamers out there. If you guys haven't heard of Sir Ches, he's awesome. Go check him out. But what we do is when we actually set it up as a highlight on the stream, so you guys can go back and watch the games that you actually played in. And so we with the battle arena, we will hopefully be streaming more than just the one finals game or something like that, and we can hopefully have them all happen at different times, because that's the way we have it set up right now. Bronze, silver, gold, diamond, platinum typically all happen at the same time, so we can't get them all streamed, which you guys out there, we're looking for people. We'll get to that, but
we will.
But definitely looking for more people so we can get more streamed. But at any rate, hopefully we'll be able to get the bronze game streamed and give some feedback on those.
Right.
I'd actually kind of love to see bronze tournament streams.
Oh, that's fun.
They are hilarious.
It is fun.
It's one of my very guilty pleasures is to just go and watch my low elo friends and just spectate their game silently and be like, oh no don't why guys?
Well, yeah, because a while ago we started the podcast. You remember that? Watching the Aram, we were watching some bronze guy.
God, the turret that stayed alive forever with one hit. Oh,
we're sitting here yelling at it like, hit it, just hit the goddamn, hit the turret.
I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for everyone else. I don't do it with any malice intended or anything.
No.
It's really just all good fun and everything. But I would kind of like to see what goes on at a bronze level tournament and everything. How people approach the game. Would
Just
it
interrupt
be a
him.
30-minute farm fest or what?
It's really a whole nother beast in itself. It's almost like watching another game being played, because it almost turns into an ARAM a lot of the times, which is awesome. But
It's so funny.
it's great. No malice intended. It's just interesting to watch what goes through people's minds who maybe aren't necessarily up on the game like everybody else is. So a lot of fun.
Actually, we had an email come in today that I didn't get to forward that somebody said, I'm in bronze 3 and all my games turn into Arams. So I think it's funny that you bring that up. He's like, most of my games.
I was like, where are you going with that?
Oh,
Sure.
sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I apologize. All right. So let's talk about PAX East then and how this is all going to work out, because this is really going to be their first time meeting any of the Victorious Gaming guys and be able to ask any of the questions, because after this, everyone can get a hold of you on Twitter, and your Twitter handle is on stream right now if you point below you. Point, yeah, right there. Go follow him. No, right below you. No?
Okay.
You know what? Read it for the downloaders.
Oh,
At VG3 Gregg, and it's not what it sounds like, guys. It's VG, the number 3, and then Gregg, Gregg. So I've got 3 G's in my name.
Oh, he's a double G, Greg.
Right?
He's a douchebag.
I had to pick
Your name has a double G in it.
Mine doesn't have a double G in it.
Your Twitter handle sure does.
GGC Pawn.
God damn it!
get fucked.
Get
You
fucked.
can't come at
Get
me like
fucked.
that, people. It just doesn't work.
Oh, there's a double G Greg at my work, and he's a douchebag. So I just assume
Don't lump us all double G Greggs in together.
double G. So you guys are going to PAX East, and what are your plans to go to? What do you guys plan on doing while you're there? I know we're gonna do a collaborative podcast, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so the idea is that we've got our IT admin Neutrox. He's awesome. He knows everything about everything, and it's kind of scary the things he knows. But at any rate, he runs our website, does all that stuff. He's going to be there with me, and we're going to be hopefully doing a podcast together. And It's going to be hopefully live, hopefully off the cuff, which will be a lot of fun, and we can find some.
Hopefully, you're all drinking at that point.
And hopefully, we're all drinking at that point. Last year, Riot did a bar crawl on Saturday night at PAX East, and it was amazing. And if we could do it then, it would be great.
They did it the year before too.
Yeah,
it was awesome, and I loved it. So
I wish I was going because I
got very drunk then.
I have one of those directional microphones that they're used for interviewing, where it doesn't pick up on like a ton of the background noise, and it was really when I went there to podcast, we used that to podcast. Everybody just kind of stood around and and passed it around, or everyone stood around it because. Yeah. But I'm going to talk to Matt Nagorum, who's going to go there. He lives right in Boston. I'm going to have him take one of these microphones so you guys can all sit around like the Samsung on a laptop, and you can talk into it.
We can all just get real close together and.
Right, everyone's going to huddle like, "Hey guys."
Yeah, we can maybe even hug or something.
Whoa.
I haven't even. I was an offer. It doesn't have to be
loving caresses.
That's right.
I want pictures of this, please.
Sure.
He's like, I'm embarrassed now. No, that's great. So, guys, if you're going to PAX East, go check out and find Greg and find the Victorious Gaming guys because so far everyone's awesome.
We may even have some VG swag for you guys as well because I know you guys are giving out T-Force swag.
That's right, like we talked about earlier.
So.
That's right. VG swag as in. Wait, are we talking like T-shirts and?
We haven't ironed that out yet, but we'll get there.
Oh, god damn it, DeClaude. T-shirts haven't ironed it. That's an unintentional pun.
Listen.
I'm glad you found that one. See, I could replace him. I could replace you, DeClaude.
I had to. I actually missed DeClaude tonight just because I want some puns now.
I know, right?
I don't want the puns.
So, all right, then let's move into our last point here about staff recruitment. What are you guys looking for Victorious Gaming? What can we help? Because I want to throw this out there. We've asked for people to help out with the T-Force LCS rundown, and we've had a lot of people write in. I really want to help. Podcast, and I've had to turn quite a number of people away because, this is for a different position. But those same people that have applied now can go and help you guys out.
Right. So, I mean, now that we're teamed up, if you're working for VG, you're definitely going to be involved with T-Force and vice versa. But, what we need is a ton of stuff, and you can go to our website www.victoriousgaming.com. Check us out there. We've got staff applications on the website. Everything that is, you go to About VG and then you go to Staff Apps, and you can look on there and see. Personally, for me, I know we need everything in the media department, graphic artists, and there's actually an opportunity to make commissions in there if you're doing work for the other people in VG, which is pretty cool. Most of the positions are paid as of right now. But who knows what's going to happen in the future. Shoutcasters, we are good on unless you're a streamer. If you have the ability to stream, we need you. And then also the journalist department we're working on as well, working on doing some news, doing some updates. We just did an interview with VG Esports, which is our challenger team. Number 3 on the ladder, just got there. They're awesome. We did an interview with the support and captain from there and kind of have that on there. One of our journalists took care of that. So definitely looking for that. We also have recruiters. We have organizers. We have everything you could possibly think of for running a tournament.
So really, you want community.
We do. We want community, and if you want to come help out, give back to to us, because I mean, all of our tournaments are 100% free. I didn't put that in there. I didn't plug that yet, but everything is 100% free. You don't have to pay to join. You don't have to do any of that stuff. No dues. You just come in, you win RP, and that's awesome.
I mean, for people who are looking to really break into any type of esports journalism, this is an exceptional opportunity. Really, part of it is just going out and working. And it doesn't matter if you're posting to, if you're posting to your own blog and that type of thing, that's good. You're doing work. But this is a place that's going to get exposure. And, you clearly have a demand for it right now. So,
yeah. And it's a real company. It's not like, some random place that people go and it's out in the hole in the wall. It's an actual company. It's an actual website that you can go and put on your LinkedIn or whatever and say, I worked here at Victorious Gaming. I wrote this article. And
if people go and look at OnGamers or the LOL esports site, pretty much everybody contributing to those sites started at something like Victorious Gaming. So this is really a good opportunity to sort of get your foot in the door in the esports journalism side of things.
Yeah, and everybody knows who has any experience in journalism or in media or anything like that knows you have to put in the time.
You have to put in a lot of time.
You may be working for less money than you're making, or I mean, you may be paying out more money than you're taking in just to be able to do it.
Well, I think people need to realize too. We talked about this on episode 145 or 144, whatever it was, when we had Chober on, and he talked about his Dr. Pepper story and all that, right? And I need people. I don't think people realize how long it really does take, and how unlikely it is that you're just going to bust into the esports scene and at full speed. Because like the Trinity Force Podcast, for example, we've been doing this podcast since late 2011. And it's 2014 right now, and just in 2014 we've really started to blossom. So we've had to put a lot of time into this, and people before the guys who are on the podcast now have dedicated a lot of time to this show and have really helped it grow and get to the point where it is. So it's you have to put your life on hold to work in esports.
You really do, and this is a good opportunity where you don't have to spend 8 hours a day, or 24 hours a day, working in esports. It's something that you can do while you're in college, or while you're in a job like me. I have a full-time job and I'm doing this during the week. Yep. And so like it's a great opportunity to get into it, break into it, and hopefully take it further. I mean, I know my goal is to take it further than what I'm doing right now in terms of actually going into esports, and whether that's with VG, which I hope it would be. It's a great opportunity nonetheless. So,
and that's really the other side of it. You're gonna get what you get out of it, what you put into it. Like you got to work, and if you want to succeed, you're really gonna have to work hard. But it can be done, and there are just so many stories within League of Legends journalism itself, just where people really did turn it into realistic careers.
Right.
But it's not, you can't just decide you're gonna do it one day and then boom, overnight you're now a full-fledged journalist.
Right, exactly. One more thing I wanted to mention for you guys. I have our server admin, or our company admin here, Erebus, talking at my ear on Skype. He wanted me to let you guys know we're looking to bring this out to EU West. I don't know how many EU West listeners you have. I know you
we do have quite a few, actually.
Okay, so this is only NA right now, guys. Just as a heads up, but we're looking to try and get bilingual employees or staff members, whatever you want to call them. We're looking to get them so we can actually bring this over to EUS. We have a lot of EU people interested. Every time we make a Reddit thread, people, we always have comments on there about, is this on EU? Is this on EU? No, it's not yet. We want to get there. So if at all possible, if anybody's interested, if you're bilingual, we can definitely find you a place at VG and hopefully move this over to EU West, because we really want to get those guys into it as well.
Yeah, I mean, alongside that, the logical extension as you grow does start to extend to the other regions and that type of thing. So the more people get involved, the more opportunity you guys will have to grow. So it's it really is a good back and forth relationship in that regard.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm mostly just saying that because I know we have quite a few Oceanic listeners as well.
Sure do.
So and they, I know, would just be all over this type of thing, because they're all every time they write in, how can we grow the community more, that type of thing. It's we can't do it for you. Sorry.
Yeah, right. We can talk about it, but really the only people that are going to be listening to us are the people who want to grow the scene. Are the people who really want to help out. So we actually had people write in from the EU West and say, there's no one in the T-Force channel. Can you give it a shout out? And we did. And then it expanded when we shout out on one podcast. So there are definitely people out there that want to do this and want to play in Battle Arena and whatever it may be. But the Trinity Force Podcast cannot do it alone. And that's why we're talking to Victorious Gaming tonight. So as you guys can see, hopefully this becomes... This is all for you guys if you're listening. We want you to be better gamers, and this is your outlet to do it.
Yeah, and Victorious Gaming can't do it alone, and that's of course why we're teaming up with you guys as well. And of course we want to give back to the community too, because the community's done a lot for us, and it's just a reciprocal cycle and working together with everybody. And
let's keep jacking each other off. Let's go.
Absolutely, let's
go.
Keep
going right here.
I'm surprised you guys have anything left in the tank at this point.
I don't have any beer left. I did not prepare like Dom, and my other beer is in the fridge.
Yeah, you make fun of me for drinking warm beer, but I'm the one with beer by the end of the show.
I've been talking too much, so I've still got a ton left.
Well, we have 30 minutes of show left. What do you guys... I think we should put Gregg's shoutcasting ability to test and see how good of an analyst he is. I don't know. If you.
I'm a play-by-play guy, but I do some analytics as well. I just to say I'm more of the D-man than the Jat. We'll just go and say that.
Okay. I mean, D-Man tries. He gets in there and says some things. So I think we should do some listener questions and really put Gregg's analytical skills to test. Well, anybody else?
All right.
Look at this
Let's
guy.
go.
He's got a big grin on his face. I like it. He's excited.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see here. I'm just gonna scan through my questions here. All right. You know what? Here's a moderately difficult question, but I want to see if Gregg can answer this one. I'm going to put you on the spot. If you're not comfortable answering it, we'll start with the conversation.
Bring it on, man. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what I like.
All right, here we go. Dale, you write in and you ask us. I play almost only top lane Shyvana. I don't use a very normal starting build, and because of that, I start quite a few games with criticism from my team, though I do well. I start most games building into Avarice Blade. I've always been using 3 lifesteal quints to sustain. What is the major problem with my start that makes people criticize me for it?
So here's the first thing that I would say is if it works for you and you have fun doing it, just ignore everybody else, because if you do well, okay, first of all, if you do well, what you want to do in a league game, what everybody else wants you to do is to do well, work as a team, and win, right? And if you do those 3 things, what does anybody else have to call you out on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, but let's take those out of the equation. Let's just take build only into account. Avarice Blade is essentially crit, right? I mean, it's
Crit and gold
gold.
generation.
right, crit and
No.
gold generation. If you're gonna go with some kind of gold generation on Shyvana, I would not recommend crit. Honestly.
I don't think there are other gold generation items that aren't support items anymore.
There, for the
Right.
most part, there's not.
But here's the thing. I mean, if you're gonna go with something on Shyvana, you might as well go with a support gold generation item or something like that. You know what I mean? Where I guess it's only well, okay, yeah, no. But people are building like I was gonna say people are building Face of the Mountain up top, but that's not gonna be gold generation for you anymore. But so I guess the question would be for me to him would be, okay, what are you trying to get out of Avarice Blade? Do you only want gold out of it? Because if that's the case, start Dorn's one of the Dorn's items and then just work on your CS a little bit more. You know what I mean? So you're looking to get more gold out of it, just focus more on CS. Get a Dorn's Blade, which then will in turn help you CS better because you're not going to miss as many, because you're going to get more AD, you're going to get more damage to the minions. So, that's my 2 cents on that one.
It doesn't say what he's. Oh, go ahead.
What?
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
yeah.
well, first of all, well said, Gregg. Yeah, I think you worked through that well. So you get to a very good point. Go ahead, Sean.
I want to know what he's building it into, whether he's going Executioner's Calling or Static Shiv. And
It could be. I mean, it could be Atmas.
Yeah, but Atmas is one of those items that's just like, no.
I think he's he's probably building it into Static Shiv because he wants to do more damage, and the lightning also. I mean, if Bronze
give it to
Logic, you see
Shyvana.
lightning, you're doing more damage.
Well, not
Right.
only that, but like, what? Shyvana's gonna clear a wave in 1 auto and
You don't need
2
to clear.
seconds on her W. Yeah. I you don't need it, but it's like, oh, cool, I can shove this out so fast,
right,
you know.
or Tiamat. I mean,
exactly.
you've got so many other options.
The biggest issue I have is that if this individual's getting it for the gold generation, they're spending 800 gold to get something, to then have to earn back an 800 gold just to break even on it.
Right.
Right.
Whereas,
If you want the gold generation that bad, and I don't recommend doing this, but if you want the gold generation that bad, you could just forego the Avarice Blade and the Lifesteal Quints and just run gold
quints.
generation Quints.
Yep.
Again, I don't recommend doing this in top lane, but if you want
And
gold
then-
generation that
And then
bad,
start Ruby Crystal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, so here, I think the big breakdown here is, one, why are you building Avarice Blade? Probably because you think crit is a fantastic stat. You think the gold generation is a fantastic stat. But when you start breaking that down and realizing that gold generation doesn't break even for like 15 minutes or something on its own, or however you're CSing.
And Shyvana's... Oh,
Go.
sorry.
I was gonna say, well, I'm gonna keep going and going. So if you have something to say,
I was going to say,
I
Shyvana is not
have the
gonna
gold efficiency
scale up
numbers
crits.
if you want them.
sure.
yeah, let's go.
Avarice Blade, it's gold efficient if you hold it for 16 minutes and 40 seconds after purchasing it.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
Each unit you kill reduces that timer by 6.7 seconds. So that does, and Shyvana does kill shit pretty fast. So you can wear that down pretty quickly and turn it into like lots of bonus gold.
Going
but
to
still.
Sean's point here, and this is the point I need to get to, is you are spending 800 gold, which is just about the same amount as a Ginsu's, not a Ginsu's, excuse me, is a Bilgewater Cutlass.
Yep.
then that Bilgewater Cutlass is going to provide you with your sustain, and your lifesteal is going to provide you with extra damage. It's going to provide you with magic damage and a slow, which Shyvana needs
some
to.
CC, right? Which is huge since she doesn't have any CC on her own.
So when you're looking at top lane, the whole point of top lane right now, and it's even in the hyper carry meta that we're slowly moving toward, or the the tanky bruiser meta that we're slowly moving toward, again, it's that you need to sustain. And starting anything other than Cloth 5 or Doran Shield right now, you're not going to sit up there in top lane sustain long enough. If you're starting a longsword, and I need to back this up real quick. So going with Gregg's point earlier, if it's working for you, do it, but realize that you're going to hit a point where it's no longer going to work. If you are bronze and you make it all the way to gold 5 and you can't make it past that wall, it's because whatever you are doing right now is never going to get you higher.
Because you started Avarice Blade on Shyvana.
And there's another issue with this too. If you're buying that item and say they do get that Bilgewater Cutlass over you, they're probably going to punish you for having that Avarice Blade if they know what they're doing.
Because they're going to have more sustain than you are.
Exactly.
There are very few champions in this game that make heavy use of early critical strike. Mid-game and late-game critical strike is a totally different story, but very few get a lot out of it in the early game.
Yeah, but with Shyvana, what you are is you're a tank. You're not.
Right.
Of course, you're going to do insane amounts of damage just by building tanky, but the point is you don't have to build damage on her at all. So why are you building crit on somebody who's just going to be taking damage rather than giving it out, right? So that's the main question I'd have for our listener there, or for your listener there.
You can say R, it's fine.
You're on tonight.
Yeah, okay. Well, at any rate, that's the question I have is, what is your reasoning behind that? What do you want out of the crit come late game or come even early game, whatever
and
you're
see how a lot, and I got a point. Greg did a fantastic job here by saying, this is, here's the question. I need you to answer that question. So anybody who writes in that has a question for us, if you can't answer that question yourself, that's a great reason to write in. But if you can sit here and say, I'm building Avarice Blade, but what happens if this person builds this and I have this? And you can't answer that question, that's when we can step in. Like, you need to be able to answer the question, why am I building this item? Why did I build Randu and Zoman? Well, I built Randu and Zoman because I wanted the slow, I needed the armor, and I needed the attack speed debuff. That's why I built it, because of the team.
There should be a reason for everything you do in the game, and if you can't figure it out, you need to go back and reevaluate the choices that you're making.
It's just like every chess master tells everything. And no, I'm serious. Like,
no,
it
he
sounds
really
stupid,
is. Yeah.
But like in chess, when you're learning chess, all you ever get pounded into is, wow, did I just say pounded into? In your brain, is never make a move unless there's a reason that you're doing it. So in League of Legends, never ever buy an item, never ever do anything, never gank a lane unless you know you're going to get something out of it that is going to make you better in that game.
Right. And realize the consequences of doing your move, like in chess.
Right.
It's funny you bring up chess because commonly, if he used to cast. He doesn't really do as much, but he did one episode. He may have done two now, and it was comparing chess to League. And because he watches a lot of
great
Grandmasters.
articles. Those were great articles.
Yeah, and not knowing anything about chess, but understanding it's a very mental game. When you compare it to League and realize that for every action there is a equal and opposite reaction, or there is a reaction, And when you're buying Avarice Blade, the person's going to see that you're building all that extra crit, so they might just go ahead and build if it's Renekton, you're going to get pounced on by Renekton. He's going to shit on your face. You're just going to build
health, and that's whatever.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You can't stand in there against him as he heals, and if he has a Vamp Scepter, he's going to heal even more than he was healing before.
And then you're zoned out for the next 3.5 minutes.
Gaining some passive gold to get to that 16.5 minutes to make your 800 gold worth it.
The other thing is it sets what your main build should be. It sets it back. So it's just one of those things, like, it's not real efficient.
We also need to look at his quints, though. He says he's running those 3 lifesteal quints to sustain. You could substitute those 3 lifesteal quints with HP per 5 quints, with AP quints on Shyvana. You can actually run HP quints or AP quints and max E. You can run
hybrid
flat
pen
health,
quints.
Hybrid pen. You could run armor. I mean, there's so many other better quints you could run.
Yeah, and here's the main question. What are you trying to get out of this? You're trying to either get gold per 5 or crit. 1, you don't need crit on Shyvana, I'm sorry, but you just don't.
Yeah.
2, if you're looking for the gold per 5, you can either go with the quints there, or you can just be Shyvana that doesn't need gold to be good, and just focus on getting CS.
So what you're saying is
money.
Learn to last hit better and learn to trade
honestly,
better.
Yes. Like, if you're looking to get more money, don't rely on a passive that's going to set your champion back. rely on making your mechanics better, CS a little bit better, get that more gold, buy better items that you can then get kills with, and then you even get more gold. So
snowball effect.
And here's the thing too: if your head is Shyvana, you can max out your W and clear extremely easily and not miss that much CS just because of the passive damage you're doing with burnout. But if you're behind, you can level up Flame Breath and still sit back and last hit pretty effectively.
Yes.
And even if you're getting shoved out, you can just sit back and throw fireballs for money.
Honestly, I max E first on Shyvana.
Yeah, I do too.
W, and I run flat AP Quince. I start the game with plus 15 AP. I do like the Darien shit where it's like Merlot Namicon and like AP Renekton and shit. You're like, why is this Shyvana got a Merlot Namicon? Because I'm doing magic damage, motherfucker.
Well, we just had a 50-minute conversation on Avarice Blade on Shyvana.
Welcome to the Trinity Force Podcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have you ever listened to this podcast before? Do you not realize that we get derailed very easily?
I'm just saying,
I didn't even really have
it
to
was
say
awesome.
anything to
I'm
get
just
derailed
impressed
there.
that we could do that. Like, whoa. That was fun. That was good. All right, anyway, right. So,
All right, well, let's see.
look at him.
Let me
He's
scan some
like-
more of these.
He's got the bug now. He wants more of it.
I want to talk about more items. Let's talk about Void Staff on Gangplank. Yeah.
AP Gangplank, he's my bitch!
Don't even bring that up. Adam will he's having trouble podcasting with such huge throbbing erection now.
Get down! God damn it!
I need another drink.
I need a beer.
Should we do Halo Dude? Want me to read it while you get a beer?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna go grab a beer.
It's a quick one, but all right. So, Halo Dude 774 writes, at the end of episode 138, you guys brought up Swain. I just wondered, what lane does he usually end up in? What's the appeal, and who might he be a smart pick against? I mean, mid or top. That's where you're playing Swain. Or jungle if your name's Wrecker N.
So, Swain needs blue buff, period.
Yep.
He does. He needs a lot.
So, do not, by any means, go top if you're on red side with Swain. That's my 2 cents on that one, because you need blue, and you're only going to get blue if you're mid, period, and then the side, and then if you're on blue side on the top lane. So, I mean, you can't even build I
always wonder how much of that of those type of mana issues you can bandage through runes and masteries without sacrificing, how much you give up in order to do that, especially with the upcoming rune changes, which we have not talked about that stuff yet.
Well, we'll hit it on Monday.
I guess, yeah. It just sort of occurs like, wow, that was a big announcement. We have not even touched on it at all. I always wonder how much you can do that. I've not sat down to try and do the math because it would take me a year and a half to do that math. That's how bad I am at it.
Unfortunately, Swain, with his mana issues, if you've ever played him in an Aram and realized how much mana he uses in a team fight or even lane to clear anything, you can't manage that through runes and masteries without giving up too much, because he has to be in the middle of the battle, so you need at least 9 in defense on him. And if you're not going mid, if you're, let's say, I don't know why we said take him top, because he's always gonna go mid.
No, I just said that's that. Those are the lanes he's gonna get played in if he gets.
He's not gonna get carry.
It's not necessarily where he should be.
Challenge accepted.
Please don't.
I played Vladimir AD carry once.
Battle Arena tomorrow. Let's do it.
Battle Arena tomorrow. Host versus fan.
I'm one who has to support his ass during these crazy experiments.
Yeah, you'll have tons of fun.
Just play the cow. You can knock them up, and I'll throw my never move down, and then when they land, they'll never move.
And then we don't have damage.
Yeah,
I see what you did there.
They will never move. You know what? If you're playing Swain, play him mid, take him mid, play him, and realize that your never move has very short range, and you have to make all your abilities account. So,
and that you need to land it. You need to snare someone, or else you are useless.
It takes a
that's
long
the
time
problem.
to pop too once you cast it.
And it's so easy to avoid. Oh.
Right. That being said, we saw Swain played a while ago as kind of an attempted
LCS.
pick. Yeah, against burst assassins when Ahri was super popular, and Zed, just because for most, compared to most other mid laners, he gets surprisingly bruisery with what he builds. And if you get if he's not ignited, and if he gets a Zhonya's, he still gets lifesteal when he Zhonya's if he's standing in the middle of a bunch of people in his ult.
If he's in bird form, it still heals him.
Which is crazy.
So just for kicks, guess where he is in as far as a win rate goes.
Where?
49%.
42.
Oh! Now, the lowest is 45 right now.
I know.
Okay, that's fine. So you got that. So you think he's at 42%?
No, I was
51.
kidding.
40, I said 49.
49. Sean says 51.
Fuck it. Let's go crazy.
I think he's probably a little higher than that, actually.
I think he's below 50. Well, no, because at low elos, he's impossible to play against. So I'd say somewhere around 50.
Yeah.
He's the 10th winningest champion in the game.
So that puts him at what, 53%?
Okay.
52%?
52.75.
I was going to say, well, that's funny, though, because
Yeah.
Fiora is up there, too, and she's like
That's
the fourth
only
winningest
got to be at the
champion.
low elos. Like, that has to be down there. I can't imagine.
No,
it's gonna be
I
at the
don't.
low elos.
I don't think it is. I think it's a case where he is he's one of those guys who's a sleeper pick against a lot of the assassin type champions because you're not going to easily burst down a swing.
I don't think
And
he's
here's-
here's the thing. I don't think he's a sleeper pick against those champions, per se. I just
He's
think
got a
that solo queue...
2.84%
The solo queue. No. Here's the thing. I think
Nobody's looking at it.
with the way solo queue plays. Solo queue always gets to 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes when this guy starts
that's
becoming a
when he-
beast.
Yep.
And this is when he becomes unstoppable. He's good at 25 minutes, but when you hit 35,
I'm
but
interested.
I'm not saying he's going to win LCS games all of a sudden. I'm just saying, like, in the solo queue situation you just described, yeah, he's kind of a sleeper pick.
In solo queue, he may fall into that same kind of realm that Poppy falls into, where the people who pick him are pretty comfortable at playing that champion. And if somebody else is playing something else because it's popular or whatever, this person who has 200-300 games played on Swain versus this guy who's played 10 as Yasuo may do some stupid shit and kick the hell out of Yasuo, and team rages and they win because of it.
No, I agree. It's a small sample that's largely dictated by the Swain mains.
I will be curious to see if he gets better once Will the Ancients gets buffed to what it is too.
hard to say.
He's kind of one of the guys who actually benefits from it.
From the mana regen? Yeah.
Yeah.
If
but
I
I
can-
mean, it's
Not
still
one of the guys,
go ahead.
The only guy.
right.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so just, if we're trying to make people better gamers here as well, I have a good comment as well from one of our tournaments. I think it was on Saturday that I actually was streaming. It was a Diamond Plat tournament, and somebody did play Swain in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting to watch because we actually had an AP mid Tristana against the Swain. So if you're having trouble with that,
It's a silly pick.
no. It actually was
Tristana's-
genius, and I called him out. I was like,
Tristana's good.
"What's this AP Tristana mid type of thing?"
I mean, I guess
And
like,
they actually, the Trist ended up winning the game and destroying because of the explosive shot on her E,
Yeah.
and
Makes perfect sense.
she, that just negates his ult.
Right,
So,
right.
and we interviewed the Tristana afterwards because we do a vote in the chat. By the way, www.twitch.tv/victoriousgamingtwitch plug. We do an interview with whoever the chat decides is the MVP. So we put a straw poll into the chat. They vote for MVP, and then we do an interview with the player who wins. So we interviewed the AP Tristana, and came in, and it was interesting because he said he only plays mid Tristana against a Swain. Because of that explosive shot. He says, I don't usually play AP mid Tristana, but because it's a Swain, explosive shot, and it's over.
The ignite on that ability scales extremely well too with AP. Like
I'll look at it now.
it's ridiculous. I mean, if you're playing a squishy mid and you're against an AP Tristana and she gets that off and you can't do anything to like counter it, it's going to take you to like half health.
Right.
It's
Or
really
more.
stupid.
And Tristana's never going to let him get into range until Tristana wants to get
Hell
into range.
no.
Um,
What's Swain gonna do? Run up on her and then she just busts her shots away and it's like whatever. See ya.
Yeah, it's got a AP ratio of 1, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
That's
pretty
pretty
good.
good.
That's you can't
that's
ask for
pretty
better.
good.
On an ability with a built-in ignite, get out of here.
And an
that's-
ability that
that's
gains
pretty good.
range with your level
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. At first, I thought it was a
Long
silly pick
cooldown,
because
Long cooldown, but
No, I understand why you thought it was a silly pick because
no,
I
it
said
was
the
the
same
very
thing
first thing.
at the cast.
The very first, I was like, "This is a silly pick." Then I immediately went, "Nope, never mind. This isn't a silly pick."
It's a silly pick against anyone other than Swain.
Right. Interesting. So I can't believe we just spent. Look at this. See, now you're surprised we spent 15 minutes talking about average play because that doesn't surprise me.
Oh no, but this
And
was
then
was
when we
fun.
get 10 minutes talking about Swain, I'm like, What are you gonna say about Swain? Yeah, pick him, play him, learn him. There you go. Congratulations.
I just want an opportunity to plug the Twitch. Just saying.
I mean, you can plug it at the end. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. What other questions do we have that we could do tonight?
Look at Magnum X's.
Is that one? Okay, we'll do Magnum X's. That's what I was looking at actually.
Yep.
Next was Magnum X writes in. He says, "When your lane is being pushed to the tower, when is it best to attack the creeps to clear the wave, and when is it best to attack the champion to scare him off to get damage?"
So, run that by me one more time. Pushing the lane. When are you supposed to?
Say, okay, this is what it is. There's a ton of creeps at your turret, all right, attacking your turret, and the enemy champion's attacking your turret. Which one are you going to try and, like, are you going to kill the minions to stop the minions hitting them, or are you going to scare off the enemy champion?
That sort of depends on your champion.
Right.
I'm gonna say always the minions because you get the gold from them, and you're stopping them from being there. So then the turret would hit the champion, unless it's somebody like Jax.
Almost always the minions for that reason, but the reason almost always is because you can bait a player into attacking you under a tower by attacking them. And there's some players that if you walk into that range, let's say there's a Renekton and he wants to slice that last minion. If you walk in range of that slice, or you walk the range of that culling, or Call the Meek, that's Q, right?
Call the Meek, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Call the Meek. When you walk in the range, it gets hit, and suddenly he takes turret aggro, and he starts taking damage. There are times you can stand on top of a minion and make him Q or W you, for example, where you get stunned instead of the minion getting stunned, and now he's taking turret shots. So to attack, it's a mind game under the turret. For the most part, if you watch the LCS, people are attacking the minions and allowing the person to farm behind them, and they're letting that person farm behind them and do their thing because there's no reason to give up that CS and that experience. People forget about experience. Creeps give experience, and that's just as important.
And here's
I mean,
the
like
other thing. Go ahead, Dom.
The one thing that comes to mind for me that sort of goes against that strategy is if you really are playing something of a turret race, then it's a case where you would be more inclined to actually attack the enemy champion because that's going to get the minion aggro onto you instead of on the turret.
That's a
pretty case specific issue rather than
Can
the,
you heal
the
your
general
life
go-to.
back up? Can you kill the creeps very quickly?
Frankly,
you have to do
are you in
checks in
bot
your
lane?
head.
Are you in bot lane? Is really one question.
Yes,
That has to
exactly.
get answered there.
That's a
Can
really good
You've
point,
seen me
though,
do.
Dom.
How many times have you seen me do that? Like you'll be last hitting and shit and everything, and I will go run attack somebody just to get the minion aggro off the turret.
And you also learn when you're down, like bottom lane is a whole different scenario with this, because bottom lane you can actually engage the enemy 2v2 when they're attacking the turret, because there's somebody that could potentially be out of position more frequently than when you're in the top lane, because you have two people to worry about rather than one person, and you have to. So, and at that point, you have a greater chance of somebody getting attacked by a turret. Doubles as there's more people, in the lane, or there's a greater chance of everything happening. But, like, bottom lane, if there's 3 waves attacking your turret, more than likely you're going to attack the creeps and try to push them off as quickly as possible.
then that's... If there's 3 waves attacking your turret and the champions are there, something really, really went wrong earlier in that game.
And if you're in a situation like that too, and the turret's pretty low, you also need to know when to back off and not shove
Just
that
let it
shit off
go.
the turret. Yeah, because like this goes back to that talk about there's a Jax on your turret and you have like 2 waves on there. If that turret's at like a 5th health and you're playing somebody who can't 1v1 Jax, he's gonna kill that turret and then fuck you really hard. And there's nothing you can do about it unless you just
Or he's gonna fuck you and then kill the turret.
because he just doesn't care. There's sometimes you just need to know when to let go, and that
He's off the gas.
So yeah, sitting around is gonna sitting around or trying to stop them from taking turret is actually going to be worse for you than just letting them take it, letting the lane push up to your next turret, and then safely farming in an area where your jungler might be able to come up and turn around and kill.
I think I'm using this right, but I think this question is too ambiguous to answer within. We have to have scenarios, or we have to have, here's a clip. Should I have stayed under the turret and played it this way, or how should I have played this piece?
I think it did get hit pretty well in the early goings, because that, I would say, is like the majority of the situations that solo queue players are going to face.
Sure.
The types of things that we really discussed after that are very situation dependent, but they are things that you got to take into consideration. But even then, it starts to break down. So
Well, there's so many times that I think about this game and the situations that I know how to deal with based on past situations. How many times have we said where you just have to play it out and then ask yourself, when you were done with that situation in the middle of that game, you're 15 minutes in that game, sometimes you have to ask yourself, was that worth it? Did I make the right play? And you have to mentally say yes or no in the middle of that game, because you will remember it for the next time it happens, and it will happen again.
You also have to be able to like admit defeat at certain points, like just recognize that you got beat during that, and so that's when you have to go back and look and say, okay, this is what that person did, and it was just like, it wasn't specific abilities or items or anything, because abilities are level and items as a result of something else in the game. It's what did this player do that got me put so far behind? Was it a misplay that I made,
right,
or was it something he or she just did better than me and I can learn from?
Yeah, there's so many mental checks that you need to make while you're playing the game that'll make you better at the game. Like if you can't get into Battle Arena with Victorious Gaming or Trinity Force, you can't have a coach sit down and talk to you. You can't have one of us. You can't have Greg or myself tell you, how you can play this differently. You have to try to make that check in the game while playing and say, this is what happened. This is how I played it. And I want to say for any of the listeners out there, like this is going to help you guys if you play in the Victorious Gaming's 5-on-5 tournament and you have a clip, because it gets streamed
which you should.
Yeah, which you absolutely should. And you say, I made this play. Here's the clip and the time, and you send us that clip. We will watch that clip, and we will be able to tell you in an email, this is how you should have played this, or we think you played this correctly. And that's another reason that we are teaming up with Victorious Gaming here, is to give you guys more options and better ways to capture your gameplay without having to, because a lot of you, like Greg said, you're looking for streamers. Not a lot of you have the internet or the computers capable of doing this. So we want to try to supplement that for you best as possible.
We can be your streamer.
There we go.
Hey.
And see, Dom, take a note. That is how you turn a topic into another topic, and you segue without mentioning it.
I'm not going to take notes. All right, I graduated college a long time ago. I'm done taking notes.
Speaking of coaches, by the way, the since we got a minute left, Victorious Gaming, we've also got coaching services as well. So if you're looking to get better at the game, we've got coaches. We've got like 6 or 7 of them that'd be interested in helping you out.
Free or paid?
Free. Donation, of course, if you want to, but they don't really expect it, so it's up to you guys.
Donate them $5-10 and go get a coach for a couple hours.
And they're really good too. We require Plat 3 or above. That was Season 3, so they'll look at the Season 3 for that. But everybody's at least got a grasp on the game. And
wait, am I allowed to coach if I was Plat 5? Or no, I added Plat 3. Never mind. I added Plat 3. I forgot. Because I was the highest out of my friends.
Sure, why not? We won't kick you out.
Well, why would you? I mean, I host an awesome podcast.
I know what you're talking about. So Tyr was higher than you.
Bitch. And he got hired by Riot.
Yeah.
So, Greg, thanks a lot for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Anytime, Adam.
Thank you, buddy. Just having fun.
I don't know what I'm going to do with the two of you.
To Adam. Yeah, this is.
Yeah, this is
horrible.
I'm actually it's been a circle jerk.
Vomiting.
Greg, last second plugs before I kill the podcast.
Definitely, guys, follow us, twitch.tv/Victorious Gaming Twitch. Somebody stole Victorious Gaming, but we're going to get it back as soon as it's a year in, because Twitch wants to do that. You can follow us, you can subscribe, and you can follow me on Twitter, VG3Greg. Talked about that before. It's below here, but if you're on listening to the MP3, VG3, the number 3. So VG, the number 3, REGG. I had to make it.
Got it. VG Greg. Got it.
VG3 Greg.
Yeah, there's a 3 in there. We don't even know. I got to go accept your friend request now. I closed the league client before I was able to accept it, but it's still sitting there. Thanks again for joining us, guys. As we said, Victorious Gaming and Trinity Force Podcast are definitely teaming up here for the future. Battle Arena is going to be taken over more than less by Victorious Gaming. We'll still be trying to do it as best we can, since we don't expect them to do it every weekend with how popular these tournaments are. Please go sign up for the tournaments and let us know via email. You guys, after this podcast is over, you'll hear it. Let us know how the tournament went for you, how well it was ran. They give you a free TeamSpeak server to go sit in and talk to everybody on.
And I didn't mention, you get a Triumphant Ryze skin if you get first place in any of the tournaments, which is also awesome.
That's why I need to go do one of these and get first place, because I want that skin really badly.
There you go. Come join us.
The problem is I'm platinum and I actually have to try, and
you might get shot.
Adam, I thought you win every lane. Come on, man.
No, I only win top lane. Only win top lane.
Oh, okay.
You haven't seen me play mid. It's a fucking abomination. Much like this podcast.
I've actually seen you play mid. Hey, you won once as Cassidon.
I know, I'm fucking the old Kassadin. I was like 18. I was like 18-5 and something.
Yeah.
But I beat a bronze player. I beat Snagglewolf. So, not really saying much. So, anyway, Greg, you down for playing some games tonight?
Of course
Yeah.
I am. I'm always
right.
down for playing games.
All right, guys, thanks a lot for listening to the Trinity Force Podcast. Please go check out Victorious Gaming. That is episode number 147. Listen to the the post ad and write in and let us know how it goes. So, guys, we'll see you next week.
Have a
Thanks,
wonderful evening.
guys.